my pleasure right now to bring on Sarah Graham, the Communications Director at the DC Board of Elections, to give us information that we need, Sarah. It's right up on us. Welcome to the show. And, all of us, most of us, we'll talk about that, should have gotten our ballots by mail by now, correct?
Yes, I do hope so. Nice to join you as always.
So, I mean, bring us up to date. So we got the yellow and white envelopes. They have the ballots inside. It's time to cast the ballots. Correct.
Yes, it is. You can this election, like we did, we've done previously. We mailed all registered DC voters a ballot. Those started mailing in September, and they'll continue throughout the month. So don't worry if you haven't received yours yet. If you're wondering where it is, you can always go on dcboe.org and track it. But you should make a plan. If you don't have it by November the 1st, you should make a plan to vote in person. We'll talk a little bit about how you can do that in a minute.
Wonderful. And so I want to not only voting in person, but registration, because some people may still need to register to vote. Is it too late to do that?
Luckily, it is not. So in the District of Columbia, while our mail and online voter registration process has closed, you can still register in person here at our offices at 1015 Half Street Southeast, Suite 750. Or even if you want to wait until early voting or election day, we do same day voter registration. Just be sure if you come same day to bring a proof of DC residence, and that can look like an ID or a utility bill. And on our website, we have a big long list of what we take as proof of residence, and you can find that at dcboe.org/register to vote.
Wonderful. And I know that you all, as you're planning for this election, I mean, and what comes before that, are looking at what happened, or at least what the media has been reporting about what happened in Georgia. And those long lines of folks that are doing, I mean, over 300,000 people. I heard it's a record of folks who voted early in Georgia. What do you expect, or what are you all anticipating here in the district? And are you ready for it?
We are always ready to welcome voters at any of our voting centers. And also, I think it's great that we have options for folks to use their mail-in ballot. And those can be sent to us 3 different ways. You can drop it in the post. You can mail it via the Postal Service. You can drop it in one of our 55 mail ballot drop boxes. They're located all over the city. Or you can bring it to a vote center when they open on October 28th for early voting.
Okay, but if
we also really encourage, early voting. Get out there
right.
early. Send your ballot. We've already seen a lot of people take advantage of our mail-in ballots. I looked this morning. We have numbers on our website, and we have over 32,000 people, or 32. We already received 32,000 ballots here at the BOE.
Now? How does that compare to past years?
I actually don't know. I mean, obviously people are more, tuned in this election as they are with most presidential races. But, we just really encourage everyone to, make their voice heard and, utilize all the options we have for both mail-in ballots, but also in-person voting.
Now, I know, folks are probably wanting to actually vote and move on, right? But there may be some people who cast that mail-in ballot and say, I don't know if I did that right. What happens if you think you've made a mistake, or you've marked something, or you've even changed your mind prior to November 5th? What are the options, if any?
Yeah, so I think if you've, as I've mentioned, we mail you your ballot at your house. If you think you've received the wrong one, say it has potentially the wrong A and C on there, you can give us a call here at our voter services team. And that number is 202-727-2525. And they can investigate and potentially reissue you a ballot. If you make a mistake on one too, say you're filling it out before you send it in, you can also call us and we can have your ballot reissued. Um, and then if you're voting in person and you make a mistake, you can always go up to any election worker and they can cancel that ballot and they'll provide you with a new one. And you can use up to 3 ballots if you make any mistakes in person.
Right. And so for those mail-in ballots, you drop them in the mailbox. Is that how that works? Or are there drop-off boxes? Where are we
There's
taking
3.
these?
Yeah, all of the above. There are 3
Okay.
different ways that folks can get their ballots to us. One is to just drop it in the mailbox, USPS. They can use one of the 55 mail ballot drop boxes that are around all around the district. And you can find those locations on our website at dcboe.org. You can also find them in our voter guide, which will be arriving in your mailbox soon if it hasn't arrived already. And then also during early voting and on election day, if you want to drop off that ballot at any of the vote centers, you can do that as well.
Sarah, there's a lot of questions about people wondering whether their vote really counts. And, some would say early ballots count more than same day voting. Is there any truth to that? How would you, explain that to people about, which ballot is more effective? If
Here
there's
at the BOE, we just encourage folks to vote and cast their ballot in the way that's most convenient for them. I think, having our vote center model, which means you can vote at any vote center here in the District of Columbia. You don't have to vote at the one that's, say, closest to your house. So say you're on the way to the grocery store and you want to drop off your ballot. You can do that, or you're going to the library, you can drop it off if there's a mail ballot drop box there. I think giving people options to vote conveniently is really what we strive to do here in the District of Columbia.
I guess the question is every vote or every ballot counted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Always.
All right. That's yeah. There've been some questions about that, and so I wanted to hear it from the authorities' mouth that yes, every ballot is counted. Wonderful.
I will say it again. Every ballot is counted. Yes.
Wonderful. And then for election day, give us the details about that. When will the polls open? Mm-hmm. When will they close? And if someone needs, help getting to the poll or voting,
election day is Tuesday, November 5th. Our vote centers, there's 75 of them. They open at 7 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. And I want to remind folks that if you're in line at 8 p.m. on election day, you still can vote. So make sure you get there before then. Voters can go to any of our vote centers, and they're located all around the city. We really encourage folks to kind of make their plan before election day. And that can include using your mail ballot or voting early. And if you have, as always, if you have any questions, we are here to help. You can go to dcboe.org. Right now, we have a really cool dashboard on our website or our homepage that has all of this information. You can see sample ballots there. You can see a list of candidates. You can see where you can, vote center locations, mail ballot drop box locations, and all of this also too is in our mailed voter guide.
Are you all looking for any volunteers to help on election day?
Surprisingly, I guess this will kind of answer your question about interest in this election. We are we had a outstanding group of people that have asked to be election workers that we're actually not accepting applications for this election. But there is another election coming up in 2026. We are always thinking ahead. So if you're interested in being an election worker, we are always taking applications. And that also a friendly reminder to any young folk that maybe are listening to this, high school students can serve as election workers as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Sarah Wynn Graham, thank you so very much for being with us today and sharing this information. And it's heating up. It's time.
Yeah.
We're almost there. So, thank you again.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
All righty. Take care.